Greetings, sir of this may concern. Christian Aguilar here, back with another movie review. And this is my 13th movie review out of the 31 days of Halloween horror movies I am going to be reviewing this month for spooky season. So in today's movie review, I am going to be reviewing the movie Frankenstein. That came out in 1931, and that was directed by James Whale. It stars Colin Clive as Victor Frankenstein and Boris Karloff as Frankenstein's monster. And this film is about a scientist named Frankenstein going out and gathering all these corpses with his hunchback assistant as they piece together a new man and create life out of these separate limbs taken from either dead corpses or recently hung criminals. And once they piece everything together, they create life. And thus, the movie truly begins there. Right off the bat, going into this, I remember I was really young. Well, not really young, but I was a wee one, and I was watching all of the classic black and white Universal films. I think it was my father that told me to sit down and watch them, so I sat down and watched as many as I could back to back. I think I saw this, Dracula, and the Wolfman. I think back to back with each other, because at the time I only had access to those three. So I remember going into this one, and what I found awesome about this film was the fact that the horror doesn't lie within the monster itself. The horrors lie in humanity, and that's what this film is really telling us. We as people are afraid of new things, or afraid of change. So when something so damn out of the blue, like a resurrected beast, like Frankenstein's monster is, comes to the public eye, humanity's not going to treat it and welcome it with open arms. It's going to probably protest and rebel against this new discovery of anything. It's pretty wild how this horror film is really the horrors of how humanity reacts to something like Frankenstein's monster. How the villagers are chasing after him in the end. And what really threw me off when I first watched this was that I didn't know that a kill from a horror monster could be so emotional. And I don't want to give too much away, but if you haven't seen this film, go watch it. It's a classic horror film. If you have any slight interest in horror, I highly recommend just to watch the classic black and white Universal films, because they are where they're at. This is like, without them, there would be no other horror films that we know of to date, in my opinion. So these are like the classics, man. You gotta watch these, you know. So the classic scene when the monster meets the little girl by the lake, they're throwing flower petals, like flower heads, into the water. She hands him a couple of flower heads for him to toss as well, you know. This is the only other person that treated him as an equal, that sat him down and was like, look, this is how I'm having fun. Why not have fun with me? Rather than question his presence and question his motives, she sat down and brought him onto her level. It's so damn heart-wrenching when curiosity gets the best of him. Like all humans, when we grow up, curiosity gets the best of us. And sometimes we have to burn ourselves in order to know that's not the right thing to do. And the monster, Frankenstein's monster, is a baby, man. He's a 6 foot, 7 foot tall, very strong baby. All right, it's dangerous what they did, obviously, but it's so cool to see so much emotion, so much heart behind this one kill, you know. And I was taken aback, man. I was like, whoa, that is something we'll probably never see in a horror film, ever. Is sympathy for the murderer, the monster, along with the victim. Man, that is just pure magic right there. And when I saw that, I was like, whoa, what is this, man? This is like a whole new feeling. And I was like probably 7 or 8, maybe 8 or 9, around that age. I remember watching this movie. And I thought that was really interesting and really clever. As of right now, Frankenstein's that only film I can think of that makes you feel for the monster. It's one of my favorites out of the classic horror movies, the classic Universal movies. And this film is really cool. Really, really awesome. Really well done. And I just have a soft spot for black and white films. They're just so damn cool. I love watching old black and white films when I can. And this, I remember watching at a young age, and this is probably one of my first black and white films that I've seen. I mean, of course, I've seen black and white television like I Love Lucy, but I never watched a full movie in black and white before this, I don't think. You know, I'm trying to think of Nosferatu. No, yeah, Nosferatu came later. And that was an older film than this. But, yeah, I remember I saw Nosferatu a little later. So, out of my rating list, let's bring that up. Frankenstein. I am going to give the original 1931 Frankenstein, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. Because it's a classic Universal movie. For a horror movie, there's so much emotion into it. And I really admire that. And it really makes you think that the monster presented in this movie is not the one we should be fearing. It's how quick humans react to something so foreign to them. And not all the time is it going to be in a positive light. A lot of people react in hate and in anger and in fear. So I love how this movie got me to think like that at like age 8 to 9. So that was pretty cool. They're timeless, man. Just timeless. So yes, that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. And if you enjoyed, please like, share, subscribe. And I hope all of you are well out there. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next one.